The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of December 23 to 27 reveals that Victor Newman and Nikki Newman will host a traditional Newman Christmas gathering, so Claire Newman will look forward to all the fun. Cole Howard will score an invitation as well, so he'll help Claire bring some presents inside for the party. That's when Claire and Cole will catch Nikki stealing a smooch with Victor, so Claire will tease them about the lack of mistletoe. Over with Diane Jenkins Abbott, she'll try to come up with a solution to her Kyle Abbott problem. Diane needs a major sacrifice that'll prove all her best qualities to Kyle, but that may have to wait until the new year. In the meantime, Diane will work on making progress with some other Abbott family members instead. Ashley Abbott has certainly never been a fan of Diane's, but all her latest deception with Jack Abbott made matters worse. Even Tracy Abbott was a little miffed over the lengths Jack and Diane went to, so Y and R spoilers say Diane will work toward making amends. It turns out Diane, Ashley, and Tracy will have drinks at society together, so Diane will make a special Abbott-related toast and butter them up. At Sharon Newman's house, she'll have a fresh point of view after her hypnosis sessions with Alan Laurent. Sharon's guilt will continue to melt away as it becomes increasingly obvious those crimes weren't her own. Sharon and Nick Newman will be determined to find out who ran Phyllis Summers off the road and who eliminated Heather Stevens, but there will be time for more investigating after the holiday festivities. Sharon will give herself permission to just enjoy herself for a moment, so she'll sing Deck the Halls with Nick, Faith Newman, Mariah Copeland, and Tessa Porter. It'll be a positive turning point for Sharon, but more trouble's brewing. Of course, it's easy to imagine Jordan and Ian Ward sharing a little Christmas celebration in their motel room. Ian and Jordan may agree the greatest gift they could give each other is pulling off the rest of their crisscross plot. Sharon, Claire, and Mariah could all land in grave danger thanks to what Ian and Jordan have in the works, so stick with us for updates on all the shockers ahead. Speaking of shockers, Phyllis could face some if she can convince Lauren Fenmore Baldwin and Michael Baldwin to blab. After Phyllis launches another heated confrontation with Michael and Lauren, she'll find out she doesn't have all the facts of Sharon's case. Lauren will hint about there being things that Phyllis doesn't realize, so Phyllis will pressure her to spill any additional news she's learned. Will Michael push Lauren to stay tight-lipped or let her leak some hints that steer guilt toward another culprit? Regardless, Phyllis is fixated on making Sharon pay, so she may not listen despite her own memory of an unknown truck causing her crash. Next, we should talk about Denise Tolliver, since she'll make an appearance related to the search for Damien on December 27. Despite finding the whereabouts of Nate Hastings' half-brother, there should be some complications that delay his first on-screen appearance. Nathan Owens has been cast in a mysterious role that's assumed to be Damien, but he won't make his debut until January 8. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nate and Amy Lewis will have some drama to contend with, so we'll pass along more predictions on all the chaos. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, December 19, reveal that Alan Laurent will put Sharon Newman under hypnosis once again, so she'll have a chance to revisit the night Heather Stevens met a grisly end. Sharon blacked out and awoke in horror since Heather was deceased on the floor, but she can't recall the moments leading up to her demise, at least not yet. Alan will do his best to help with that on Thursday's I and R episode, so look for Sharon to uncover a key detail that she didn't know before. Sharon will reach deep within her brain and find a memory that could turn this whole case upside down. After Sharon remembers something critical, she'll give Nick Newman updates as well. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick will agree there's far more to the story based on what Sharon recalls. Will Sharon realize someone else was indeed in the apartment that night? Could there be any hints about Jordan and Ian Ward's grim plot? Sharon won't be able to totally solve the mystery at this point, but her new discovery could leave her feeling certain that someone else took Heather out. Over with Phyllis Summers, she'll shift gears when it comes to her plans for payback. If Phyllis fears the justice system is going to fail her when it comes to making Sharon suffer, she may take matters into her own hands. Next, Nate Hastings and Amy Lewis will have a meeting at the coffee house with Denise Tolliver, who's been searching for Nate's half-brother in Los Angeles. Denise will reveal that she finally nailed down where Damien is located, so she'll have that information for Amy and Nate on Thursday's show. Once Nate and Amy get this huge news, they'll talk about their next steps when it comes to approaching Damien. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nate may worry about scaring Damien off, so he'll want to be careful. Nevertheless, Nate has made a promise that he intends to keep, so he may assure Amy that they're going to figure it all out. Our predictions point to plenty of curveballs as Nate tries to connect with his half-brother, so stay tuned for all the Damien drama to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Wednesday, December 18, reveals that Jack Abbott will be down in the dumps at the Abbott mansion, so Tracy Abbott will question him about what's wrong. Jack will mull over the Jackie ornament that Dinah Murgeron once helped him make and worry that holding onto the past is a fatal Abbott flaw. However, Tracy will feel like so many good things can come out of holding onto the past as well. Once Jack offers updates on his latest drama with Billy Abbott, Tracy will get the feeling he's more focused on Kyle Abbott. Since Jack missed out on so much time with Dinah due to his resentment, he won't want Kyle to experience that with Diane Jenkins Abbott too. Tracy will suggest that Jack should open up to Kyle and let him know that he understands. Next on Wednesday's I and R episode, Jack will think back on some memories of Dinah, both resentful ones and more loving ones toward the end of her life. At Society, Kyle will shower Claire Newman with compliments following her first day at Chancellor. Claire will sense that something is bothering Kyle, but he won't want to bring the mood down by venting about his parents. Once Claire says couples share the good and the bad, so Kyle will tease her about calling them a couple. However, Kyle will confirm that he's like to be Claire's boyfriend if she wants that as well. Claire will confirm that she does and will call herself Kyle's girlfriend as they make their couple status official. Afterward, Kyle will confide about still not being able to trust Diane, but Claire won't think Diane is trying to manipulate him. Later, Jack will have a heart-to-heart with Kyle and let him know he's been in his position when it comes to lack of trust. That's why Jack won't judge Kyle, who'll push for more time and express a willingness to work toward being a family again. Jack will encourage Kyle to hang the Jackie ornament and will seem pleased once his son puts it on the Christmas tree. At Crimson Lights, Esther Valentine will make Diane a special holiday drink to lift her spirits, but Diane will still be upset over not being able to rebuild trust with her family. Esther will share some advice from Catherine Chancellor and warn that pushing too hard can make people pull away. After Esther suggests a personal sacrifice to prove herself, Diane will realize she needs to find the ultimate selfless act to earn Kyle's complete acceptance and forgiveness. At the Newman Ranch, Victoria Newman will show up looking for news on how Claire's first day on the job went. Nikki Newman will give a glowing review and will even hint that she thinks Victor Newman's going to come around on Claire's romance with Kyle in time. Victoria will still have concerns about Claire's newfound freedom and choices overwhelming her, but Nikki will offer reassurance. Once Claire joins Victoria and Nikki, she'll let them know how much she loves her life. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire's bliss could blow up in the not-too-distant future, so stick with us for more predictions on all the chaos. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, December 18, reveal that Nikki Newman will have some advice for Victoria Newman. Since Victoria is mostly focused on her eldest daughter right now, there's a good chance Nikki's guidance will involve Claire Newman. Victoria will probably still be hearing alarm bells over all the changes in Claire's life. Although Victoria is glad to see Claire living for herself and making her own decisions, she's still a protective mom. Victoria doesn't want Claire to get hurt, so she'll have some worries when it comes to her budding romance with Kyle Abbott, especially since Victor Newman doesn't approve. However, Nikki may push Victoria to trust that Claire can handle whatever happens. As much as Victoria might want to bubble wrap Claire and protect her from any pain or bad news, that's just not realistic. Nikki will speak from personal experience since she's had to stand by and watch her own children go through plenty of difficulties. The best thing Victoria can do is support Claire and be there for her no matter what. Speaking of support, Diane Jenkins Abbott will lean on someone unexpected in Wednesday's I and R episode. It turns out Diane will get comfort from a surprising confidant, so there's a good chance it'll be Ashley Abbott. Our predictions point to the tension between Ashley and Diane starting to lift, so they may do a little bonding. Although Ashley doesn't fully trust Diane, she might hear about Diane's latest Kyle struggles and offer some sympathy anyway. Over with Jack Abbott, he'll most likely give Tracy Abbott updates on Billy Abbott disowning him and refusing to be part of the family anymore. Tracy may hope Billy will cool off and rethink his stance, especially since Christmas is coming up. Jack and Tracy will take a trip down memory lane as they reflect on some holiday memories, so that should lift their spirits despite all the Billy drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some sweet brother-sister moments are on the way for Jack and Tracy, so stay tuned. We'll have other exciting Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so make us your top Y and R source. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, December 18, promise Jack and Tracy recalling some of their favorite Abbott family Christmas memories. Is it too much to hope for real flashbacks? Then before now. Viewers have known the Abbotts since the early 1980s. We've seen Christmases when they were talking to each other, and Christmases where they couldn't even be in the same room together. We've seen them with partners and children, and seen those partners and children turn their backs on them. Jack is hoping for a Merry Christmas. He and Diane aren't faking being estranged anymore. Kyle has admitted they may have been right about his latest stupid plan. And then there's Harrison. Christmas is always more fun with a child in the house. Tracy will never have another Christmas with her beloved daughter, and Ellen will certainly never make up for that. But he's around, and he really seems to like Tracy. That's nice, at least. While the Abbotts feel warm and fuzzy, Diane tries to pretend Jack's family totally accepts her. Billy previously expressed interest in their teaming up for his benefit, but he pretended it was also for hers. Diane isn't dumb, but she is a bit lonely. Sure, it's nice to have Jack's support, but it sure would be nice not to be glared at every time she enters the room. It's my turn. Victor is always telling Victoria how to live her life. The last time he tried, it was to command her to stay away from Cole. Victoria and Cole both laughed at that and ignored him. So now it's Nikki's turn to give her daughter life advice. Maybe Victoria will actually listen to her mother. Diane and the Young and the Restless have been pretty cryptic about Diane's missing decade. Yes, we know she was in California, and yes, we know she got involved with Jeremy Stark and sent him to prison. But what if there's another secret lurking? Did we just get a hint on the December 17 episode? The best of time is now. If you're going to cause trouble for Diane, now would be an excellent time to do it. Sure, she and Jack are back on course after their fake breakup. But they said a lot of things in public that sounded awfully authentic. Hard to get past that. Even worse is Kyle. He forgives his mother. He doesn't forgive his mother. He kind of forgives his mother. He wants his mother to admit she hurt his feelings. Kyle will be first in line to believe if someone shows up with dirt on Diane. Old grudges. Phyllis may have dropped her grudge against Diane to focus on railroading Sharon into prison. Still, once that falls apart with the exposure of Jordan and Diane, she will need a new target to become self-righteous about. That's when she'll focus on Diane's past and figuring out what she was up to all those years. Spoiler alert! And who will be the one to expose what Diane was really up to in Los Angeles for all those missing years? Why not the mysterious Damien? We just discovered that he's been living in California and left his job under mysterious circumstances. What if he was mysteriously involved with Diane and can expose her past in a way neither Stark nor Phyllis could? It's all connected in Genoa City, right? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jordan made sure Sharon Newman's meds were tainted with PCP for Ian Ward. However, Ian wasn't too pleased when Nick Newman had the medication tested. Ian was furious over Jordan's sloppiness. However, Phyllis Summers is acting just as crazed as Sharon was during the killer storyline. Could Ian and Jordan have drugged Phyllis as well? Keep reading and let's talk about what could be coming up next with this storyline. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Nick Newman's gut instincts. Y&R spoilers reveal that even though Chance Chancellor is a seasoned detective, he didn't handle Heather Stevens' death investigation very well. Chance never really questioned Sharon thoroughly, even after she was busted breaking into Phyllis' hotel room. Even about Heather's murder, Sharon gave Chance lies, and he never bothered to follow up. It was because of Nick that Sharon realized she might not be truly responsible for the crimes. Nick got Sharon's old medication out of the trash and asked Chance to have it tested. When the results came back, Chance gave them to Michael Baldwin. When Michael shared with Sharon and her loved ones that the meds were laced with PCP, it was a game changer. Y&R spoilers. Sharon Newman's hypnosis. Now Sharon is getting hypnotized by Alan Laurent. Fans watched as Sharon was asked about Phyllis' accident. Although some fans expected Alan to get right to Heather's murder, the psychiatrist likely wanted to start slow. If Sharon freaks out too badly during hypnosis, her memories might completely shut down. Alan is going to hypnotize Sharon again, which could lead to more clues. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Ian Ward's discovery. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that when Ian was out in Genoa City, he overheard Maria Copeland talking to Tessa Porter and Claire Grace Newman about Sharon's case. What Ian overheard was that Sharon's meds were tainted, although they didn't know how, by whom, or why. Once Ian learned this intel, he went back to the motel room. That is when Ian told Jordan what he learned, and got after her for the sloppy outcome. Y&R spoilers. Phyllis Summers drugged. Over with Phyllis, she keeps acting way crazier than usual. Sure, Phyllis is mourning Heather, but she knows Sharon wasn't the one who ran her off the road. One would think that Phyllis would want the right person held accountable. Instead, Phyllis just wants Sharon to pay. Even after Sharon confessed, it still wasn't enough for Phyllis. It's not exactly clear what Phyllis expects Sharon or anyone else to do. It's not like you can force the judge to hear your case early. At least, Sharon was determined to go straight to prison until she learned about the PCP. Phyllis keeps jumping up and down, screaming like a rabid banshee to anyone who will listen. Phyllis keeps going into Sharon's business, and then rants about running into her. Phyllis has always been intense and extreme. Phyllis is also known for her explosive reactions to everything. However, even this goes a bit beyond what is normal for Phyllis. Could Sharon not be the only Genoa City resident to be drugged? Is that why Phyllis is acting crazier than usual? With Ian and Jordan, anything is possible. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, December 18 reveal that the Abbott family is front and center as the week rolls on in GC. Diane Jenkins Abbott uses the shoulder of a confidant who listens to her concerns. Spoilers tease that the person listening has not always been sympathetic in the past, so it could very well be her sister-in-law Ashley Abbott that shows empathy. Ashley is home from treatment in Paris for DID, and her trauma may have led to her being more open to others' suffering, namely her foe Diane. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Ashley and Diane bond. Ashley has been sus of Diane ever since she fake unalived herself. But as the times change, people can too, and it may be that Ashley is concerned about the relationship between Diane and Kyle Abbott. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott tells Tracy Abbott about Billy Abbott denouncing him and claiming to not belong in the family anymore. Level-headed Tracy seeks to soothe the waters and thinks the best of hot-head Billy. Maybe he'll reconsider his rant with Christmas just around the corner. At the same time, Jack and Tracy stroll down memory lane and think about happier holidays from the past. My and our spoilers. Nikki advises Victoria. Elsewhere, Nikki Newman advises Victoria Newman, most likely about Claire Newman. Victoria is not pleased that her daughter is sweet on troubled Kyle and will seek out her own mom's thoughts. Still, being with Kyle is a whole lot better than Claire trying to kill the family. No. The Young and the Restless spoilers. What happens next in Genoa City, Wisconsin? However, Victoria is right to be concerned about Victor Newman not approving of the romance. Victor has a habit of pushing his agenda no matter the cost, and he has already warned Claire about Kyle and his kind. Will Nikki remember her own past trying to herd headstrong Victoria? It sounds like she counsels Vic to let Claire make her own mistakes. Nikki has watched Victoria go through all sorts of anguish, so she will aim to help her see that letting go is the best option. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Diane Jenkins Abbott has to nail down a strategy to truly win Kyle Abbott over. In the December 18 episode, Esther Valentine offered some good advice about committing a truly selfless act that was personal, not professional. Diane made some progress with Kyle by handing him back the Abbott co-CEO job, but it wasn't enough to fix what's broken between them. If Diane wants to earn Kyle's total acceptance and forgiveness, she's going to have to think outside the corporate box. Diane will work on figuring out the ultimate sacrifice that'll help her show who she really is at her core. However, it may be tough for Diane to settle on something that'll convince Kyle of her positive transformation. Anything Diane might try could come across as fake and manipulative. Is it really a selfless act if Diane is doing this to get what she wants? Perhaps Y&R is setting the stage for a different scenario instead. There could be a situation coming up where Diane will make the ultimate sacrifice in the form of trading her life for someone else's. Harrison Abbott is a possibility, but Claire Newman makes more sense considering the current storyline. Claire is becoming more important to Kyle every day, so what if Diane somehow gets an opportunity to rescue her from danger? If Diane saves Claire instinctively and puts her own safety on the back burner, that could change everything for Kyle. It could leave Kyle feeling a debt of gratitude, but it could also leave him terrified if Diane almost loses her own life in the process. Jack Abbott and Tracy Abbott offered some possible hints about that as well. After Tracy suggested no one wanted Kyle and Diane's reconciliation to come too late, Jack had a potentially ominous response. Like it was with our mother. Practically on her deathbed, Jack said in the December 18 episode. What if that was a clue that Diane will face a death dilemma of her own? Kyle may wind up fearing that he's indeed too late to forgive his mom. Of course, Diane would hopefully pull through in the end and get the forgiveness she's craving. Everyone could get a happy ending, but some danger could play out in the meantime. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Jordan and Ian Ward will indeed put Claire in danger in the coming weeks, so Diane might have a chance to play the hero. Whatever the case, our predictions point to Diane pulling off a selfless act that'll prove she can be trusted, so stay tuned for updates on whether some risky Claire news will be involved. It's the place to be for the hottest young and the restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates. So make us your top Y and R source. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Ian is going to play a little sneaky game. In spreading a web of chaos across Genoa City, Ian Ward has found his new soft target. The man is eyeing Tessa Porter for his next move. The girl who doesn't know what Ian looks like will not see him as a threat for now, and it's Tessa's big heart that might be her undoing. So what's Ian's game here? The young and the restless spoilers. Tessa gets on Ian's radar. The young and the restless spoilers tease that Ian thinks he has hit the ultimate jackpot. Why? He recently learned that Claire Newman happens to be friends with Mariah Copeland and Tessa. For him, this connection is a golden ticket to double down, even if Jordan isn't that excited. However, Maria wouldn't be fooled even for a second. Remember, she survived Ian's cult nightmare. So, a mere sight of Ian can make Maria's soul leave her body. But Tessa has never actually met him, let alone seen his wicked side. Subsequently, it makes her the perfect target for Ian's next string of shenanigans. Here's where things get extra spicy. Ian's cunning charm might woo anyone, but he knows that appearing as his usual creepy self won't cut it. Moreover, Tessa would spot him as a weird pedophile and step away while rolling her eyes. According to Y and R spoilers, Ian may get inspired by Jordan and pull a disguise trick. Further read, Billy and Phyllis give into the passion this Christmas, read here. Ian's homeless scam works on Tessa. He might turn into a ragged, messy, and pitiful poor man with no roof. Furthermore, Tessa, who has been homeless herself, would totally fall for the man down on his luck. Her kind heart wouldn't stand to see Ian hanging outside society after hours, shivering in the cold. She could offer him a warm meal and maybe even some coffee while listening to his fake sob story. And just like that, Ian will win Tessa's sympathy and proceed with his plan. However, the CBS soap spoilers spill that Tessa will eventually discover Ian's true identity, and the fallout will be epic. Until then, keep reading Soap Opera Daily for more The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Mariah come to her rescue, or is Ian about to cause even more chaos in Tessa's life? Share your views in the comments down below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jordan and Ian Ward are both villains determined to get payback. However, the longer that these two work together, the more they bicker. With Ian's latest demand, could Jordan decide to take matters into her own hands and get rid of her evil partner in crime? Could Jordan end up warning Sharon Newman instead of killing her as Ian demanded? Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers Jordan Howard's unexpected escape. Y and R spoilers reveal that Jordan escaped from the maximum security prison she was sent to. However, as fans have seen in flashbacks, Jordan and Ian met at the prison but in an unexpected way. Ian was the one to first approach Jordan. Apparently, Ian was already reformed and released and spent his time sharing the word of God with inmates. Jordan wasn't interested until Ian mentioned the Newman family in Genoa City. Y and R spoilers, villains divided. Now that Ian and Jordan are both on the loose again, they are working together. Ian got Jordan out of prison, but it means she's a fugitive. Jordan is right that she is taking most of the risks, but she's doing Ian's bidding. Jordan wants Ian to now do something for her. Ian isn't interested in working as a team, though. Ian talks down to Jordan, something she doesn't like at all. If Ian doesn't want Jordan crossing him, then he might want to play nice for a bit. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Ian Ward's killer demand. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that when working alone, Jordan usually only takes risks if it's for a very good reason. However, Ian ordered Jordan to go back out into the town just to report back the reactions of Sharon's loved ones. That alone was pretty silly and something that could have easily gotten Jordan busted. Then Ian decided to change the plan, but Jordan wasn't having it. Interestingly enough, it almost seemed as if Jordan was trying to keep Claire Grace Newman away from Ian. Jordan keeps referring to Claire as her niece and claims the Newman family brainwashed her. So maybe Jordan really is deluded about her own actions. Now Ian has told Jordan that it's time for Sharon to die. Why and are spoilers, warning and betrayal? Jordan could be ordered to kill Sharon by Ian. Jordan seemed pretty shocked and horrified, which was interesting. Jordan was the one putting vodka in Nikki Newman's, Melody Thomas Scott IV, so she's not afraid to kill. Perhaps Jordan knows if she kills, Ian could easily get rid of her before she gets revenge on her own targets. Is it possible that Jordan might try to save her own skin while getting rid of Ian? Could Jordan do this by somehow warning Sharon of Ian's plan? I could see Jordan using this as a way to lighten her sentence, or even to confuse people. Mostly, how will Claire react? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. As the story goes, Heather was murdered in cold blood in her and Daniel's apartment on The Young and the Restless by either Sharon or Baddies tag team Ian Ward and evil Aunt Jordan. She was killed, dumped into the river, and her body was found and brought home for burial, or so we think. What if that's not exactly true? What if there's a huge scheme going on that ends with Heather being very much alive? Anything is possible. We agree it sounds far-fetched to bring a very much dead and worried back to life, but this is the Soapverse after all. Crazy things happen in Genoa City on the daily, and this isn't even close to the first time we'll see a thought-dead player coming back to life. Heather could surprise us all with a shocking story of survival. But how, you ask? Let us take you on a little ride. What if Ian and Jordan are setting this up to make everyone think Heather is dead, but she's not? Instead, they have her locked away in the same storage room Jordan once kept Claire in. The ultimate setup. They could have made Sharon think she murdered the poor woman, but when she dumped Heather into the river, the evildoers were right there to drag the legal eagle out of the frigid waters and stow her away. And in her place, they found a doppelganger to toss into the river to swim with the fishes instead. All it would take is someone who looks close enough to have a traumatized Daniel ID, and he was so upset, it wouldn't take an exact replica. Did poor Daniel grieve the loss of a stranger and bury the wrong woman? With Jordan and Ian, anything is possible. The trail of clues. We can't help but notice that Jordan and Ian were insistent one of them had to leave the room to check in on their Genoa City enemies. What if they also wanted to check on their captive? Heather would need food and water, after all. Plus, not having Lucy at her mother's funeral seems rather odd. Could it be that oversight was a clue that Heather isn't dead and gone? If our prediction is right, we can't wait to see how the rescue will go down. Will an innocent passerby rescue her while they're wandering the building checking on their own storage unit? Will Ian or Jordan slip up? Or will Heather find a way to save herself and run home to Genoa City? Anything is possible. Audra comes down the steps of Nate's penthouse and gives him a peck on the cheek. She can't believe she slept so long. All these late mornings will throw her internal clock out of whack. Nate plans to make the most of her free time and suggests she savor the downtime before heading back to work. She says she's enjoyed their leisure time and even dinner with his family. When there is a knock at the door, she hopes it isn't family breakfast. It's Amy. Audra tells her how much she got out of her holiday with Nate, and he tells Amy that's a big deal coming for her. Amy advises Audra to enjoy every moment of them. After Audra exits, Nate announces that he has news about Damien. The PI tracked him down to LA. He's been moving around a lot, quitting a long string of jobs. This is no surprise to Amy, who says her son has so much untapped potential. Nate tells her that he will be on the first flight out when they get confirmation of where he is. He urges her to keep hope alive. As she hugs and thanks him, he admits this is becoming important to him too. At the Newman Ranch, Nikki helps Claire put the finishing touches on her outfit and notices something is wrong. Claire admits she didn't sleep well. She's nervous because she's afraid she will let her down. Nikki reminds her that she was the best assistant she ever had. Her granddaughter still worries that her brain might stop working and she won't be good at her job. She's spent months talking mostly to a 7-year-old. Nikki says it's only natural to feel anxious when you start something new. She's feeling anxious herself. Hearing that makes Claire feel a little better. She's eager to prove that she can do this. "I have no doubt that you are going to shine," says Nikki. Nikki takes Claire into the chancellor office. Esther is there to greet them with flowers and explains that the blooms are for Claire. She reads the card. They're from Kyle. Once Esther returns to her post, Nikki asks her assistant what's wrong. Taking off her coat, Claire admits she's still thrown by the warning Victor gave her. They discuss how he used Kyle at Glissade. The two of them rehash the details, and Nikki urges her to follow her heart about this if it concerns her. She offers to run interference with Victor if she needs her to. Claire thanks her for that. She's spent a lot of her life suppressing her feelings for someone else's, and isn't sure she could go back to that. Her grandmother advises her to start living as she sees fit. Sally and Billy are having breakfast at Society. He's surprised that Phyllis hasn't gotten back to him about his proposal to take down Victor. Sally knows she's been his cheerleader lately, but she worries about this project of his. He thinks her Rara could use some work and assures her that he has a plan, and he just walked through the door. Sally turns to see Jack. More, Eileen Davidson on losing her home. Sally politely exits as Jack joins his brother. Billy assumes his brother doesn't want him back at Abbott. Jack says he can find him a place, but his brother doesn't want to be where he's not really wanted. He declares that he's working on something bigger and better. He's going to take Victor's devious plan and turn it against him. To do that, he'll need Jack's help. He wants to cripple Chancellor and buy it up. Billy still has friends on the inside of the company who can help. All he needs is some funding. His brother isn't keen to go up against Nikki and punish her for the sins of her husband. Billy reminds him of how Victor manipulated Jill and Kyle. This is a win-win. Jack says he won't get involved in this. This only confirms for Billy that he doesn't trust him. Jack warns he's losing his patience with Billy's accusations that he doesn't love and trust him. He's always been there for him. But he refuses to enable him when he is being self-destructive. Billy accuses him of only seeing his shortcomings and none of his talents. "I'm done," he declares. "There's no coming back." The brothers bicker about how they spin their issues, and Billy gets more sarcastic. He says he's fully accepted that he's on his own now. It's exciting not to care about what anyone thinks. When Jack asks if he's disowning him and no longer wants to be part of the family, Billy confirms it. Once Jack leaves, Billy sits at the bar and sends Sally a text asking to meet. Sally meets up with Audra at Crimson Lights. They talk about their late nights, and Sally is impressed that her friend even manages to crack a joke about Glissade. Audra is surprised to hear that Sally sent Billy off to help Phyllis last night. Sally makes it clear that he made his way back to her door by the end of the night. When Audra fills her in about her night with Nate's family, she admits she cried, which makes no sense to her. The Spectre wonders if the tears were a calculated manipulation on her part. Audra admits the tears were real, and no one was more surprised by that than she was. Not that this means she's going to start weeping at sappy movies. Audra admits that Nate's caring is scaring her. Sally wonders what's happened to the invincible Audra Charles and teases her about falling in love. Audra dismisses this. Sally shows her friend the text from Billy asking her to play hooky and is surprised when Audra urges her to go for it. Sally calls Billy to agree. At the Abbott manse, Kyle runs into his mother in the dining room. After some chit-chat about Harrison and his elf costume, He asks her about her latest attempt to subvert him. Earlier, he went to Abbott and discovered that she hasn't moved out of his office. Diane insists she's been trying to and has asked the maintenance department to prepare her new office. She's confused because she thought they were in a good place. Fidgeting, Kyle explains that he had a conversation with his father about whether or not she could be trusted. Diane wonders why that's even a topic of conversation. Kyle mostly believes that she meant well and they have reconciled. However, she spent a lot of time trying to convince them all that she cared more about power than the family. Is it a surprise that he would be suspicious when he found she hadn't moved out of her office? Diane is upset that Kyle feels this way and feels awful that he's been hurt by the ruse. Kyle feels it was all too real and raw to be totally fake. Diane takes this to mean that he still thinks she's the terrible person she pretended to be. Diane doesn't know how Kyle can be backing away from their reconciliation. He doesn't know what to think right now and is trying to be honest rather than letting the hidden resentment build. They have made progress, and that means a lot to him. It's opened his eyes to things he hadn't seen about himself. Kyle says there is one last obstacle he needs to get past, and he's not sure how she can help him do that. On his way out, Kyle tells his mother he thought it was best for him to be candid. He gives her a kiss on the cheek and exits. Jack arrives moments later, and Diane fills him in about her latest conversation with their son. Shaking his head, Jack worries that someone has changed Kyle's mind. He tells Diane not to worry and promises they will be okay. I know I still have to prove myself to Kyle, but do I also have to prove myself to you? She asks. Jack knows where her heart is, and she doesn't have to prove herself to him. She loves him for believing in her, but is still upset by their son's doubts. Jack says Kyle will get over it, but she should never forget she has his support and love. That's exactly what Diane needed to hear. They kiss. More Yellowstone finale tribute. Kyle stops by the Chancellor office to check on Claire and ask how her day is going. She thanks him for the flowers, and he tells her how proud he is of her. He's sure she will kill it there. Her first day calls for a celebration, so Kyle suggests dinner. They kiss. Next on The Young and the Restless, Jack and Tracy recall memories of Christmas past.